This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome into the Meltdown. We're here with you on this Monday as we all huddle around the pop culture campfire that we call Meltdown Live here in the wonderful Culver studio. I'm going to make an effort to pick up that cup each and every day. And if I forget, e.g., you can get all over me over how I'm just not getting things right.
Okay.
That's kind of how I think the weather. Okay, let's talk here. Let's
do it.
get real.
Let's
Okay,
chat.
this is going to be a majorly depressing episode of the Meltdown. I'm just warning everybody.
Why?
It's not. I mean, I got my heart broken in poker this past weekend, so there's that. We have a huge poker game tonight, which we will talk about.
Yes, we will.
Tyler, his least favorite movie of the year is absolutely overperforming in every market.
Yikes.
So, I mean, it's just there's a lot we have to complain about, and you're coming off of a trip where you had some good vibes and you had some memories.
Yes, I had a bachelorette trip, 15 girls in one place from all walks of life. We celebrated the bride well, and
Did you survive?
I survived. I thrived, dare I say, thrived. It was excellent.
I would think 15 girls in one place with a lot of different personalities with an approaching wedding.
Yeah,
That's just a very
it's
intense situation.
yes, but intense in good ways too. Um, Imagine a minefield that you're having to walk over, but you can't really win, Even when you get to the end, like, you might get shot.
Yeah.
But, like, you made it through the minefield kinda thing.
I got it.
But
It's called World War One.
yes. For all intents and purposes, though, we celebrated the bride well, we had a great time, we were on 30A, the weather was good, we had a boat day, lots of fun outfits. This was a lookbook bachelorette party, so we were sent, specific looks to wear.
Oh,
It did all come together.
thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome. Some may not know. And so, first night was like sunset colors, like bright, beachy, and bold. So we all wore different shades. And then the bride was in white. Loved the photos that came out of it.
Mm.
Night two, well, prior to that, we had the hot girl walk. So we had to, yes,
What I don't.
it's literally just a walk.
Oh, okay.
It's just genuinely just a walk.
Got it.
Take some photos. We all wore black. She wore white. And then night two was neutrals. No, I guess it was night three, actually. Neutrals. So she was in white, obviously. We're all in shades of tans and browns.
For sure.
For sure. We had bathing suit requirements in terms of shades of blue, because, something blue crew.
Yeah.
Obviously, she was in.
Obviously.
I mean,
In what color?
blue.
No.
What? White.
White.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I heard blue crew at one point, and I
No,
started.
because we are her blue crew.
Sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry, E.G.
Okay.
Please don't hit me again.
It's okay. Again.
She's been vicious to you today off camera, but it was funny.
It's a poker Monday.
It is a poker Monday.
Okay.
So, yes, all I have to say, I enjoyed it. There were balloon arches to be had, yummy food, decor, the works. It was a good girls' weekend.
I agree. I love a good girls' weekend for sure. Just getting down there, putting on a little Tiana lotion and
Hanging out. Hot girl walking.
sandpaper in the thighs.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, I don't know how to segue other than I'm sure Jim Dunaway would have loved to have gone on this trip.
He would have. He
And
did communicate that.
instead he will be at poker tonight. He is the season leader. He's
Lots
been
to
on
unpack.
a tear, but tonight is a huge night. And after hearing about your whole weekend, I worry, E.G., and you can tell me I'm wrong, but I worry you're not in poker mode. I worry that you don't have the right mindset.
Tim, no.
Okay.
If anything, because of stud weekend, I am even more so in poker mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I was worried, because you had like the bug on Friday, like I want to play right now.
Yeah, like twitching my eye.
Like I want to play. And I was worried you'd go and you'd,
have the gallivanting.
have a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then now you're telling me you're in it to win it.
I'm locked in.
Sounds good. Tyler, I want to talk about your weekend because I assume it was very different than that.
Yeah, it sounds like EG was pulling a Liam Neeson from Taken, where he's just on the plane, just replaying that message on the phone. She's replaying old poker memories and just
Yeah.
like, this is what I should have done.
She's
This
ready
is what
there.
I should have done. And she's gonna recognize the pattern and eat y'all alive tonight, I think.
Trying. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
I feel like if for my birthday that's coming up this summer, if I had like a lookbook sort of week that I wanted to do,
Yeah,
that Tyler would still wear Supreme every single day.
probably.
And then it
Yeah.
was just he'd have to make the Supreme work with the lookbook. And that's the way we would go there. But you were Jonesin. You were not Jonesin. You were rocking some Supreme all throughout the movie theaters this past weekend because you saw a lot of stuff. What all did you
Oh yeah.
see?
So Thursday I saw a Minecraft movie.
Yep.
We talked about that a little bit on the show last Friday.
And we're
We'll
gonna be
talk about it more today,
there we go.
obviously. Um, let's see, what else did I see? I saw an early access screening of The Amateur with Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne and Rachel Brosnahan, and I thought it was really solid.
Does it make you more excited for her version of Lois Lane?
Yes, actually. Yes.
Okay.
I you get to see a little bit of banter between her and Rami Malek and think yeah, I could see her being a very worthy love interest to save the world for.
Is Rami Malek a actor that you really like? I mean, would you say he's top 10, top 15, top 20 for you? I mean, are you a fan?
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go that high. Top 25 probably though.
Current working actors.
Oh, current working
Yeah,
actors.
not all
Oh,
time.
yeah. He's up there for sure.
Okay.
I still need to watch Mr. Robot. I've only seen like a couple episodes and I didn't have a Showtime, so I
Mm.
couldn't watch the whole thing. Um, he does some voice acting work and mocap for Until Dawn, which is getting remade into a dog water movie.
Doesn't look great.
And it does not look great. They literally could have just gotten Rami Malek. They already got Peter Stormare back in, so I'm not sure why you don't just get everybody.
Early prediction. Do you think you'll like Until Dawn more or less than The Woman in the Yard?
I think I'll like it more.
Okay. Well, that goes to show The Woman in the Yard just how dog water that movie is, but
Yeah, like Until Dawn.
yeah,
I can tell it's gonna suck, but it'll probably be generic at
yeah,
best.
probably so. But
But
you recommend The Amateur.
yes, it was a
All right.
lot of fun. Has like a Jason Bourne feel to it. A little bit of a John Wick influence as well. It's very stylish in some areas, and I think it's pretty clever. It almost feels like a spiritual successor in a way to Mr. Robot. So if you're a fan of Rami Malek using his big brain and ingenious solutions and hacker skills to get out of a jam and also get the one up on people, I think this movie's for you.
His acting comes down to one thing for me that I really like, and that is his blink rate when he speaks.
Yeah.
It's very slow. His eyes are very pronounced,
Mm.
and he delivers with such a his dialogue with such a coldness a lot of the time that his stare mixed with that, it's like something.
I thought he
It's
had just
captivating.
like he really stood out in Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah,
He's given his statement to the
and
Congress, whatever it was.
yeah, I thought he was pretty good in No Time to Die as well as the Bond
Still
villain.
haven't seen that.
I thought he was pretty good at that. It helps. I've really grown more and more in love with that Billie Eilish song from that movie. No Time to Die is the name of the song too, but I didn't like it that much when it first came out, but I've really started to grow to like it. But anyway, what all else did you see this weekend?
I also saw The Luckiest Man in America, which
I'm really intrigued by that.
Paul Walter Hauser and Walton Goggins, and also a small role from Johnny Knoxville, and supporting role from Maisie Williams, aka Arya Stark.
Does this movie feel cheap, or does it feel like they really get the production value down
They
right?
knock it out of the park.
Okay,
They go full late night with the devil, but for 80s game shows.
got it.
And you feel totally immersed in that pressure luck world. Um, Walton Goggins, amazing as always. He plays the game show host. Paul Walter Hauser, I thought was really good in this as Michael Larson, who is the guy who memorizes the pressure luck patterns and then goes on the show. Um, Great job. It gives me a lot of hope for the Chris Farley biopic because I love Chris Farley, and that's one that Hollywood really needs to get
Isn't
right.
Josh Gad directing that movie?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Um, that was really good. Production design, great. Third act was where gets a little bit weaker, just because if you know the story, he figures out the pattern for the game and he's running up his score, and producers get wind of it, and once that sort of happens, the story kind of loses its steam
Yeah.
because it's paced like a thriller, but it loses its suspense towards the end.
Got it.
And then also the movie just sort of abruptly ends. And so I would have a lot more praise for it if they had really landed that plane. But I do think it is really worth a watch if you can find a showtime that works for you.
I have not it came in 15th this past weekend,
Didn't even crack 300 grand. And that's just because there's bigger profile movies out.
but still,
And this one hasn't really gotten any marketing as well.
it was in more theaters than Mickey 17, which has been out for 5 weeks now, and Mickey 17 doubled it up, and then some. So, a disappointing showing
Mhm.
here for the luckiest man in America, especially when it comes to getting future films and projects like this. I have yet to see a total number for Screenboat. I don't know what it ended up doing this weekend, but I haven't seen it reported by Box Office Mojo. But I'm sure that there's some direct reporting out there of exactly how much it made, but I'm just not sure there. But still, two movies you had a great time in
Oh, yeah.
that are very much playing to an audience that knows what they're getting involved into before they go and sit down with those two. So,
Oh, wait, and then I also forgot, I saw Hell of a Summer, which is a horror comedy directed by Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, and then also written by
uh,
him and starring him.
I watched the
Interesting.
trailer to this. I believe it aired before Y2K, and it's
Yeah,
very much of the same, feels of the same vein. Just
you would hate this.
I would hate it. I
You
would.
you would hate
I
this.
would.
So, because it marketed itself as a horror comedy, we're gonna balance the 2 a little bit, and, it's basically playing off of every summer camp, sleepaway camp style slasher. And it does that great. You can tell there's, a real reverence for that sort of subgenre, from the filmmakers in this movie, but it's way more of a comedy. There's a lot of off-screen kills, which if you're promising a horror comedy, you can't do that.
No.
But the on-screen kills, pretty solid.
Yeah.
They got pretty creative with it, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it. Obviously, it's not my cup of tea. I can tell from the marketing,
You would genuinely hate this.
but people did not show up to see this. I mean,
No.
like it. This was probably the movie that had the worst weekend overall, minus Snow White, which is this huge film in
Mhm.
terms of its budget, and it continues to just absolutely fall off the side of the earth. And Hell of a Summer is a movie that they had banked on Finn Wolfhard maybe bringing more people in and really giving him a shot here creatively. And
Yeah, they allocated a good bit of screens for that movie, and from what I've seen, it's just not doing it.
my least favorite on-screen performance last year in a movie was Finn Wolfhard in Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
I didn't see that, but I believe it.
He literally just goes through the motions. I mean, just
Is that not what he does in everything?
I mean,
He
he
he's
just
he's just playing smart ass kid in every role, and now he's like 25.
I didn't believe a thing about that performance. Now, that's not a movie where you have to really put your thinking cap on, and I understand that. It's a Ghostbusters movie, but I just it felt like he didn't wanna be there. Um, and that came across on screen for sure. So, anyway, Hell of a Summer there in the 8th spot. As we look at the box office, Tyler, there is one movie worth talking about this past weekend and one movie alone, and that is a Minecraft movie. Absolutely crushed
I said this thing
globally.
wouldn't make 100 million opening weekend. Boy, is there egg on my face.
At one point, you were doubting whether or not it would come in first place, and I was like, "Well, what's gonna beat it? I mean, really, what's gonna beat it?" But a Minecraft movie not only came in first place, as you mentioned, like It came in $100 million domestically above what Warner Brothers had projected it was going to make.
Yeah.
It made what, 300 million worldwide
Mhm.
opening weekend. The movie's going to continue to hold well throughout this week. Weekend to weekend will be interesting, but there's an extra element of this film that maybe not everyone was prepared for, of why so many tickets are being sold.
I certainly wasn't.
Can you explain this in terms that we can all understand of exactly why a Minecraft movie is drawing in a certain segment of the population?
Well, it seems like every year we get one of these movies that really draws out people that, and this is putting it lovingly, are basement dwellers. These are people who don't really go outside and touch
Hold
grass.
on. Now,
They
Okay.
I don't, and I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that as in these people do not go outside. They don't like anything that
Sunlight.
isn't online, isn't meme related.
Ugh.
They're antisocial.
got it.
So
So
this is their film.
this is their film. Last year it was Sonic 3 that absolutely brought all of them out, and you could see all of the reactions online, the aftermath of every screening online. Popcorn everywhere, ices everywhere,
Ew.
seats torn up,
Ew.
people bringing in their own outside food and then just spilling that and throwing that everywhere like the animals they are.
My
And we're
gosh.
seeing the same thing for Minecraft. And we're seeing it even bigger with these audience reactions. Daniel in the chat mentions the videos of the reaction to Minecraft are wild, and that it's just all
What do you mean?
meme
What are you
based.
reacting to?
All the memes,
People building?
just all the Jack Black quotes that have become memes, like Flint and Steel,
Mm.
water bucket, release. And the biggest one, chicken jockey. The videos to chicken jockey are absolutely insane. And for anybody who is wondering right now, what is a chicken jockey? What are these words coming out of your mouth right now?
I
A
am.
chicken jockey is just a baby zombie riding a chicken. And there's one scene where Jason Momoa has to fight one of these. And once it's revealed that there's a zombie riding a chicken, it cuts to Jack Black, and he says, "Chicken jockey," in that annoying voice he does, which I think is just his regular voice.
So, Tyler, your relationship with this movie,
This is,
it's fascinating to me
yeah.
because you went into this day one, your expectations were low based on the marketing that you'd seen, but you still went in with an earnest heart to give this thing its best shot. You walked out despising this movie. You didn't walk out even despising this movie. You were texting us in the movie going, "Oh my gosh, this is the closest I've been to walking out of a movie maybe in my life."
Really?
You hated the what you call brain rot
Yes,
experience that is a Minecraft movie.
yes. And a lot of people have given me flack for that
Yeah.
because it is a lot of Gen Z based humor. Like, this is made by the same guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite. So it's sort of the same level of just awkward cringe humor. Um, and I responded to someone who was criticizing my review of it. I was like, well, same guy who made Napoleon Dynamite, and I would say that that movie is brain rot for millennials.
I don't like
'Cause
that
it
movie.
it it is. Um,
That's fair.
yeah,
Some people take a personal offense to you not liking their movie. And I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about me, I'm
yeah,
talking about anybody, any reviewer that comes out. There's been 3 major ones lately, no pun intended. One of them is Magazine Dreams, where you talked about it was an uncomfortable watch,
yeah,
a and you got flack from Jonathan Majors stands.
and here's the thing. I was being accused that time in that case of like wanting Jonathan Major's career to be over. It's like that's not the point of what the short was. The title was "Can Jonathan Majors Come Back?" Because his domestic abuse allegations and conviction will forever be tied to the rollout of that movie because of the subject matter of that movie.
100%.
They will forever be tied. It was so tied and so linked together that Disney shelved it and sold off the rights for very cheap, and that's the only reason anyone's ever seen this movie.
And nobody really went to go see it, and it's releases on digital this week, which shows how short of a run it had in theaters. But, you talked honestly and openly about how uncomfortable of a watch it was, and you had a fan base that absolutely pounced on you. we went and saw The Woman in the Yard, which I've already talked about is the worst movie I've seen this year. It will probably be, at the end of the year, the worst movie I've seen. I don't know. It's definitely the worst horror movie I've seen as well. If it's the worst movie overall, it's definitely the worst horror movie. And we got called all sorts of things in the comment section, right? From people who either hadn't seen the movie yet or already had their mind made up that they were going to champion this thing before having seen the movie. They didn't really want to talk about the actual movie. They just wanted to defend it and call us things that, they don't know us. That's the internet, right? People say mean things about you. That's what happens on the internet. I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to even fix it. I'm just like, it makes me scratch my head and go, this is unavoidable, isn't it? When we review movies, this is unavoidable. Like, we're going to have a bunch of people jump on, keyboard warriors that just want to take us down. And, I'm not worried about those people. Those people, you cannot change their opinion. You cannot change their mind. I'm worried about the people who are on the fence in the yard and want to know whether or not they should go in the yard or run the other direction. You should run the other direction from that movie. It's a trash heap. When you walk out of Minecraft, okay, you're feeling like, I've got to protect the common man. I got to protect the common family. I got to protect EGs of the world that may somehow stumble in this movie going, oh, do they have popcorn here? And you're trying to protect these people.
Yes.
What would your opinion be on my take of this movie?
Oh my gosh, you would really hate this. Because it's there's just nothing there.
No.
I mean, oh man, you would find this very annoying, and you would find the audience reacting to it even more annoying.
Oh, no.
You would walk out.
Reacting in real time, these people?
100%.
Oh, no.
100%. Like they're recording an episode of Mystery Science Theater. They're giving their commentary the entire movie.
No.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that more later.
This is the weirdest complaint as well. People have been going after Tyler because it's like, dude, you went in there to watch the movie. What a loser. And it's like,
wait, who's a loser?
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Now,
gosh.
I got to get to
Lionel
this.
Leanin?
oh,
This is a rant.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
why are you bouncing so
It-
much?
I am
Wow.
because you just reminded me of that comment and made me mad because it reminds me how cooked we are as a race of human
Oh
beings.
my gosh. The Minecraft movies bring out the worst in humanity, clearly.
So,
Typical Meltdown reviewer bringing race into it. Anyway, continue.
God.
It's a woman in the yard thing.
Anyway, the human race.
I'm going to turn off our mics and let Tyler have the floor.
and
It's all yours.
So, oh my gosh. So the comment I received was, the reason I didn't like the Minecraft movie was because people don't go to the theater to watch movies, idiot. They go to just be there with their friends. It's like, wait. So your argument is that this movie is good because no one is actively watching it? It
Yeah.
kind of seems like you're proving my point in saying that it's a dog water movie because you've got to record a TikTok during it or otherwise you're not having a good time.
Can I bring back a callback here?
Go for it.
Is it a Streetwater sour cream movie? Is that what it is? It's
Worse.
been a long time. It was a whole thing back in the day.
I think EG was on the show at that time.
Yeah. We're talking about things that would taste awful and stuff, and we brought
That's
up
on the
Streetwater
show.
sour cream. It's like blending sour cream with gutter
that
water.
sounds
Yeah.
disgusting.
Exactly, which is why if the movie's really bad, we call it Streetwater sour cream because
I'll keep that in my vernacular
disgusting.
going forward.
anyway, I think I had some Streetwater sour cream at one point, and that's why I brought it up. But anyway.
Like at a cookout, maybe a little gutter water seeped into the taco bar.
Exactly. You know how it is. Like it falls off the gutter,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
They set up the whole taco bar right under the awning.
That is correct. It ruined the whole taco party. But
Right.
Tyler, I'm not going to check out this movie. Not that I was planning on it, but now
I appreciate you sitting this one out.
This screening
welcome, Tim.
makes AMC really appreciate EG
yeah.
because she's not going in there and ruining anybody's good time
Thank you, Tyler.
or being loud
Nope.
or spilling things.
Nope.
She is walking in, giving the theater money for the thing they actually make a profit on and the studios don't get any of, and then just walking out and
Keep
saying,
it
"See ya,
coming."
have a nice day."
Literally.
So is with the chicken jockey thing, isn't it? I didn't think I'd
Circling
say.
back.
Oh
Chicken
yeah,
jockey.
we
Isn't it
tangent.
one person gets on another person's neck and then they like stand up
Zombie.
and they
So
like take pictures?
It's a baby zombie.
Right.
Wait, what
In
are
the
you saying?
theater.
In the theater, they're doing
I saw
this?
teenagers that they would get on each other's neck and like ride them as if they were the chicken jockey.
I have not seen that. I believe it though.
I'm just saying.
I got some more chicken jockey stories for tomorrow's trash.
The median age in there.
For my screening, I went to the real late night one, so I didn't have to deal with like the real young kids. It was mainly, I would say, early 20s to late teens.
Kids who grew up with the game in
Yeah.
2011 and ended up,
People
becoming
who
adults.
I would say people who are either about to go to college
Or just
or is just like out of college. But then when I went to see The Luckiest Man in America last night, there were floods of people all going to see Minecraft. A lot of families, a lot of the Sonic 3 crowd.
What is that? What is
Excuse me.
that visual like? Is it pajama pants? What are we looking at visually? What's
There's a
their
good amount of
fashion?
pajama pants.
Okay.
A lot of the real baggy like Crip cargo pants, if you know
Cargo
those.
pants?
Yeah, like I know
That's a trigger word.
that's already like
Yeah.
off limits for you.
Yeah.
But the ones with the straps and like all like several pockets, you know what I'm talking
When
about?
was the time they washed their hair?
Um
EG's out for
no,
violence today.
there's a like a visible amount of grease
Oh!
in everyone's hair.
Gosh.
It's like caked on
Ugh.
like off a grill or something.
They have emotional support roaches. Yeah.
That is my I like need a moment.
That's like some pet like hissing cockroaches.
Oh, no. I'm like sweating.
Um,
Don't
yeah.
Oh,
I ran into a woman that had an emotional support gerbil on her shoulder in a Dollar General.
no way.
Wow.
100%.
Vest?
100%.
Where do
The
you
gerbil have a vest on?
No,
Oh.
but it was like on her shoulder the entire time, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Yikes.
It was terrifying. But anyway, enough about that. Um,
chicken jockey?
I think you and I should go to a Minecraft screening,
No.
and then we can pull this off to where one of us can be the jockey and the other one can be the chicken,
Y'all would probably go viral.
and we can make this work. Like,
What-
I don't know who.
Man, we're both gonna end up getting banned from our local theater for a total of like 300 views, and then I'm gonna be mad at you.
No,
two.
y'all would be able to bargain with them. You guys probably I would like to look at like the totals monthly about y'all's expenses toward these places.
Yeah.
Tyler specifically, they'd keep you around. They'd say, you know what, Tyler?
Yeah, yeah, well, it's true.
have
I
you
go to a
around.
lot of late night screenings after I'm done with work, so I end up getting dinner
You keep
at,
these
at
places
a
alive.
lot of these screenings.
Well, I'm just saying, keep it on the possibility of ideas for viral content of us chicky jockeying it in the
Chicky.
mind. Huh?
You said chicky.
Did I say chicky?
Chicky jockeying.
Oh no! I just swore I said chicken.
For
It's
anyone
Jenny
who doesn't
Chicky.
know, if you spend time with EG, you'll
Yeah.
pick up a whole new vocabulary.
You will.
And at first, you'll say it ironically, like to make fun of her.
Yep.
And then you'll just catch yourself saying it completely away from the studio.
But I'm
And you'll just think, dang it,
Um,
I have turned into something new and I'm not sure if I like it.
It does make you question your whole existence at times when you're using words that you would never use before.
yeah. They call that influencing.
You're at a rest area. You're looking at
It's a
C3.
bit of a reflection moment.
I'd say so.
Mm.
When you're looking into the street water,
Ew.
seeing yourself reflected back, going, one day that will be in my sour cream.
Blech.
Streetwater sour cream is what
Heck
Tyler calls the Minecraft movie. If the Minecraft movie does not make Tyler's worst of the year list at the end of the year, I'm going to be stunned, shocked. How many horrible movies will Tyler have seen to get Minecraft up the chart? Because you hate this movie. I mean, you
I
really do.
really do.
You really do. Okay.
If I have anything else to say about this, uh,
You got more in the tank after all that?
feel like I do, but I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
I'll save it for later.
We got all week. So
Yeah.
a Minecraft movie crushing at the box office for Warner Brothers, who needs some help there, especially after some big misfires like Mickey 17, which did nothing for them in the month of March.
And Joker Folia do last year.
Joker Folia do, absolutely. We go to, in the second spot, A Working Man, holding pretty well, only a 53% drop week to week, with Jason Statham there in the lead role. The Chosen Last Supper Part 2 in the number 3 spot. Snow White dropping from second to fourth, with another near 60% drop here, as this movie may not make $100 million domestically, which is a big misfire for a movie that needed to make 1.1 billion in order to break even.
Yeah, I believe the total production budget ballooned up to 325, if I'm not mistaken, and then you throw in marketing cost, and you need basically $1 billion to make
Basically,
any money,
basically.
and even then, you nickels.
This thing is a nightmare, Snow White, for Disney, but help is on the way as they have Lilo and Stitch, which will be their Memorial Day weekend to really crank things up. I think that movie's going to overperform, actually. The Woman in the Yard dropped from fourth to fifth, a 52% drop. Not bad for a horror movie. And it ended up making 4.5 million. The movie only took like $10 million, $11 million to make. That's what Blumhouse does. Cheap productions, guaranteed successes. This movie's already made 16.6. It will get to the break-even point very, very soon. And that's unfortunate because the movie sucks. Death of a Unicorn there at the number 6 spot. The Chosen Last Supper, which would have been part 1 there in the number 7 spot. Hell of a Summer, the Finn Wolfhard movie that we talked about, in the 8th spot. The Friend in the 9th spot, which
That's Bill Murray and Naomi Watts, where Naomi Watts adopts a Great Dane.
nobody went to go see this.
No,
It ended up expanding into over 1,200 theaters, and no one showed up for it. Captain America Brave New World there in the 10th spot, which it is just shy of $200 million domestically. It'll pass that today. And then you have Black Bag in the 11th spot, Mickey 17th in the 12th spot. I only bring up all the things outside the top 10 to then say you have Penguin Lessons at 14th, and then The Luckiest Man in America at 15th, which just, that's a big surprise, actually, that movie did as poorly as it did there in week number 1. Okay,
it's gotten so bad they actually expanded the Princess Mononoke 4K to include digital theaters outside of IMAX, and it finished at 13th. Planning on seeing that this week.
there you
Some
go. You
point.
may want to hurry.
Oh yeah.
Um, maybe you, that's the latest on the box office, by the way, but maybe you box and you need an office that will serve you for all of your dental needs because you're getting punched in the mouth.
Huh.
See what I'm saying
I like
there?
that segue.
Get what I'm going with?
I see where this is going.
Head on over to the dental team that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health, whether you need major work done or you just need to get on top of those regular cleanings. They give you a nice little card to remind you, like, ooh, I like this. You put it in your calendar in your phone, then you throw the card away. But either way, the card means something when they hand it to you. You feel the connection. It's like a chicken and its jockey there at just wanted to tilt Tyler on Grants Mill Road at Alabama Dental Associates. They're accepting new patients now and can help you with all of your dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, we're going to end this. I said today would be a pressing episode of the Meltdown. It's really more of a frustrating, like we're getting
Yeah.
out some frustration,
We are.
and it's about to get worse.
Okay.
I've given Tyler a task of coming up with the 5 things that a fellow moviegoer can do to really make him frustrated.
Ooh, I'm excited about this.
You are?
Yeah, I'm ready to spill some tea with my moviegoers,
Let's
and
make it happen.
I'll contribute where I can.
5 things that irk Tyler the most from other moviegoers. Tyler, you're in a rare form where your Oasis, the movie theater, has now been infected by a bunch of
Mhm.
people who are outsiders and that don't belong in your space. And
Yep.
you know this.
No, I need to start treating the local theater like North Sentinel Island. I'm just gonna stand in the lobby with a bow and arrow and wait.
Absolutely.
Like, no, you're a bad movie watcher. Get out of here.
So let's talk about the worst of the worst. How did you approach this meltdown countdown?
So the way I approached it is just like, all right, what things are pretty common that I see, especially when movies are crowded or big, that just annoy me and take me out of the movie going experience. I am someone who likes to go at the end of my day after I've done a lot of work for Meltdown and DNR, whatever. And it's just a nice way for me to relax at the end of the day.
Unwind.
It's a nice unwind.
Escape.
People have their recliner in front of the TV and they watch whatever ball game is on. I sit in AMC's recliners because I don't have one, nor do I have the space for one in my apartment, and so I just watch it on a real big screen.
I heard they did a survey. This is a little bit of a side topic, but it goes along with what you're talking about. They did a survey of movie theater owners of like what's the worst things about the movie going experience in your opinion. And they talked about how you got to have clean bathrooms, and they talked about how we need less trailers, and they talked about all that. But there was one that was a small sort of independent owner who talked about reclining seats are the worst thing that's happened to the history of movie going. And I'm like, that's a hot take. Now, he's probably thinking, I've lost a lot of business to
But
people who will only go to places with reclining
yeah,
seats.
if he owns an indie theater, like, yeah, that's the reason I don't really go to Sidewalk is
Yeah.
because unless they've got something really special, I'd rather just sit in the recliner.
Does it
Now,
ever gross y'all out though to like sit behind people?
sit behind people?
Yeah, like someone has sat in that seat and you don't know,
Oh, I get what you're saying.
like,
Yeah. You don't know, but you didn't. It was the other ones too. They did a test, and this is going to gross you out, but they did a test on movie theater seats, and they were like, it's grosser than like airport bathrooms and stuff like that, like based on like the test that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just was talking about how that's my place of
oh
my fortress
no.
of solitude is an empty movie theater at AMC.
Well, hopefully no one's in there. So you're getting the empty seats.
Yeah, EG, you can't say this. You brought it up,
No, I
and I
can't.
mean,
I'm
technically you
sorry.
did,
I
but
did. That doesn't surprise me though. Like that's why I get grossed out sometimes with the recliners. I'm like, I don't know if I want to like relax when I'm like, who's been
let me
relaxing
tell you,
before me?
if I have to sit in both sets of disgusting seats, whether it's a traditional movie theater
Recliner.
or I'm taking the dirty recliner.
When do they wipe those down? Dude,
Overnight, supposedly.
I don't believe
I've
that.
seen the cleaning crews do it.
I have two, but I also worry about the proficiency level. But I mean, tell you, the Prime Theater, which is our
Mhm.
favorite theater, I think that's one thing we share, an opinion we share. Some of the seats in there
Nasty.
have been ravaged. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, there's
just
some where you sit down and you go, "Yep, I picked the wrong seat," and the recliners go, and then it'll like throw you to the side real quick. Very rickety.
it looks like live animals have scratched the.
Ew.
See, so they're in constant need of repair,
Yes.
and that was one of the arguments from this theater owner. Like, if you have them, they're always disgusting. They're in constant need of repair. They train audiences to be way too relaxed at the movie and not be engaged. And the
Wait,
are you
wait,
there
Insane.
to
not be relaxed. That's what gets you to stay longer.
without? I'm gonna make this clear. Without the reclining seats, movie theaters should probably already be dead. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
I agree.
100%.
Okay, so this independent theater owner that they surveyed, and I should get his name and everything, but I'm not going to, is wrong about this because it is actually the thing that is once you go to an experience where you're paying for the same amount for the reclining seats as you are the standard seats, you never go back to the standard seats unless you absolutely have to. Like you never do. Like it's the whole family wants the reclining seats.
The heated element, incredible. As someone who's always cold, that changed the game for me.
And it also kills the germs.
I feel like it makes them breed more. I don't
I
know.
mean, I guess it depends on what temperature it gets
Kinda
to.
like
I
lukewarm.
I I, I don't think it's getting
I just think
like
it's a
above
little
like 130 or whatever
I
you
wouldn't
need.
consider myself like a germaphobe, but there are certain things that I'm like, yikes.
Yeah,
After the Minecraft crowd leaves, Tyler you might want to consider a little can of Lysol to wipe down your space.
there you go.
I might not well, I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna say that. I might cut back on the amount of movies I see until Minecraft is
Yeah.
gone.
And then get a little wet wipe once you go.
Or at least for the next couple weeks, just until Minecraft dies down.
Okay.
Because that crowd is horrendous.
Yes. I'm a fan of this move, Tyler.
Yeah.
Life is too short to be in miserable situations.
Agreed. Yeah. Show him who's boss.
Okay. With that being said, we got to get into the worst of the worst offenders. Now, I believe you have, if I'm not wrong, 6 items here. I've not heard them.
Yes,
You have
5
six.
and 1 honorable mention.
Let's just go in order. Let's start with the honorable mention if you're okay with that.
All right, so this one, so this action, I would argue, is just an awful person thing to do.
Okay.
If you do this, you're no friend of mine. I frankly don't want to interact with you if you do this. But since the prompt was that affect things other goers do that affects me, I couldn't put it in the main list.
Okay.
And that is because it is when people yell or get frustrated with the staff at the
Oh,
theater.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, come on, they don't make enough. They don't set the prices. Believe it or not, the guy making $9 an hour does not set the price of popcorn. So I'm pretty sure if he did, he would choose for it to cost less than 1 hour of his time
I have
serving
seen
popcorn.
grown men
Yes,
make young women that are working behind the counter cry.
yes, just break someone down to tears because oh, I'm not paying that for a movie. Movies cost this now. What are you doing? It's
Now,
like,
I'm not trying to be a citizen vigilante here,
mhm.
but I stepped in and
You
I
did.
didn't allow the berating to
What'd you
continue.
say?
I was like, "Sir, you need." First of all, I was like, "Sir," and he goes,
Oh, yeah, that usually does it.
and I'm like, and this was before I had the crazy Jack
Yeah.
Black Minecraft beard. I was like, "You need to calm down. She's doing as good of a job as she can
Aw,
possibly
that's
do,
nice, Tim.
and you're screaming at her, and that's very unprofessional. It's making her life very difficult."
That's nice.
And then her over on the side, I was like, "Look, you're going to have people like this in life. Just keep powering through. You're doing great." And then I think she quit 2 weeks later, but I never saw her again. But at least I stopped that. But I
She
also
probably did quit, but you weren't the reason.
probably so. But, that guy was awful. I mean, I just remember that. So, yeah, it happens out there, and when you see it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening in our
Mhm.
culture?" So, it sucks.
Or people who, and this goes along with it. People who get mad at the kiosk situation. I see that at mainly fast food restaurants, but I've seen it a few times at the movies.
I don't like the kiosks.
I mean, it's fine.
Eh,
Kiosks are fine, but some people get
irate.
very, very frustrated with them. Start cursing at the machine, cursing at their kids, cursing out the employees,
Right.
and they're just having a bad day at that point.
I agree. There's some people who bring their frustrations, to other social situations and makes everybody's life a little bit less joyous and fun. Let's
Mhm.
go to number 5 as we officially get into your list.
All right, number 5. This one is more it can happen in the theater, but it's more hallway situation, lobby situation. You're navigating to your seat, and that's kids running. Now, I don't mind when kids laugh real loud at the movies or anything like that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But don't run up and down the stairs. And parents, if your kid's running up and down the stairs, smack them a good bit. Just keep them in line.
Yeah.
More people need to beat their kids, I
Oh,
think. And that's what going to the movies all these times has taught me is that a lot of parents don't parent.
I remember the honorable mention a few moments ago. It feels like we've fallen so far. They'll be at the kiosk yelling at their kids, cursing at their kids, and you don't like that. But if they're in the auditorium, it's fair game.
Well, okay, the kid does not do anything to the kiosk. That's just the parent taking out their frustrations on everything around
Let me
them.
tell you, if you've ever been a parent at one of those kiosks and you got a kid looking at all the big pictures of what things they can buy and all the different ices and the different candies and stuff, I understand being the parent sort of cursing the kid at that point. But no, you're right in that parents need to make sure their kids are following some general decorum. There's some things you just cannot get your kids to do, and I trust me, I know. But my daughter's always been a great movie watcher.
Mhm.
She's always taken it very seriously, and she's always, whenever there's other kids acting up, she looks and she's like,
couldn't be me.
"Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
ain't
great.
my life,"
That's awesome.
And I'm like, "You're right. Keep going. You're doing great." She's like, "Can I get a refill?" I'm like, "Absolutely, princess," and I go get her a refill. But yes, kids running all over the place, jumping all over the place, screaming excessively, that stuff needs to be
Yeah.
that's really on the
I'm not
parents.
even talking about, like, them trying to get to the theater
Yeah,
quickly. Like, that's one thing. I'm talking about constantly running up and down the stairs
During
during
the
the
movie,
showtime,
yeah.
parents using the big screen as a way to babysit and keep their kid occupied,
Mhm.
um, rather than the kid behaving
yep,
in any way.
I'm with you. Alright, let's move on to number 4 on this Lionel's list.
This one, it annoys me, and I don't know, it might just be me. This is just kind of specific to me because I don't think I've heard this take from really anybody. Mainly happens when I see superhero movies. People love to make little quips and references during the movie, like they're recording a commentary video for it. And it's mainly in Marvel movies. But that is the worst. It's so annoying because these people usually aren't funny in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
but they decide, no, what I have to say is funny enough to disrupt everyone's good time and take you out of the movie you paid your good money to see because I think I'm funny.
I know somebody that goes to every Marvel movie and they laugh as loud as they possibly can at every single joke. And I'm talking about it doesn't matter if it's funny or not, every single
Uh,
joke, and they make it like over the
Performative.
top performative
Oh my
laughter.
god.
And it's really after the 15th time in the
You,
first hour, it gets really annoying.
you don't consider this person like a friend, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
Yikes.
But I know of this person, and if I ever see them out in the wild, I will alert you to their presence.
All right.
Because I can only imagine Thunderbolts.
Oh,
It's gonna be it's
yeah,
gonna,
I Thunderbolts is going to be hard enough for me to get through on its own. I do not want to hear somebody who just doesn't really do anything other than watch Marvel movies make stupid quips during the whole thing.
yeah. This person gave me a lecture about why I was so wrong about Brave New World and like it being this masterpiece, and I was like, okay, calm down. Let's go on now to number was it
Three.
three?
Number 3, this sort of ties into number 4 with the bad jokes. Over the top audience reactions. Talked about it with Minecraft, with Chicken Jockey and all that stupid nonsense. Um, I guess as far as I can like allow it is like the gentle minions trend where you're just walking in with a suit. That's funny to me. As long as you're just watching the movie after that. But if there's a big moment in a Marvel movie, I'm cool with a little. Ooh. But then some people I feel like are trying to create that viral moment for them to post,
Mhm.
like their own version of On Your Left and everything like that. And those people are the worst. They want to just cheer at everything and they don't care how close they are to other people. When I went to go see Sonic 3, there's a post credits scene where Metal Sonic pops up. This dude, this bless his heart, it was probably his first time out of the house in over a year.
Yeah.
Screamed bloody murder in my ear.
Yeah.
I went to the movie 180 times last year. That is the kind of experience that makes me not want to go. Or makes me go, you know what? I don't want the opening day fan experience. I want the 10 o'clock, no one else is even in the multiplex experience.
Because you're trying to escape from reality instead of being reminded by it while
Yeah.
watching the movie, which according to some people you're not supposed to be going there to do. You're not supposed to be going there to watch the movie. Which makes no sense. I'm not trying to trigger you again. I just found that to be
But
the
that take also, I think, is part of the audience reaction stuff. He's saying, "No, this isn't a movie you watch, idiot. This is a movie you make a TikTok for of
Oh.
you screaming chicken jockey, and
now
then you go home."
it's sort of it's a two-sided argument here because most arguments are, but I just figured that out. Um, but no, this is like a double-edged sword in that yes, the theater experience is awful for a weekend or two, but this is also the type of experience that keeps movie theaters alive. So like they're generating a lot of money.
I don't know. The Dune audience wasn't like this.
I
Those
know.
screenings were packed, but civil the entire way through. People were making sure their phones were put away on silent, secure the entire movie.
Have we had $100 million opening this year so far, other than Minecraft?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think I mean, I'm just saying that like theaters are in this weird conundrum because theater etiquette has to kind of go out the window for a
I
couple of
know,
weeks.
and I think that theaters and people who want theaters to stay alive kind of getting in bed with the devil
Short
because
Yeah.
it's
short term shot to the arm, but long term turns a lot of people away.
yes, because who wants to go into a packed theater where people are screaming chicken jockey? If you know that's going to be a thing, why would you pay $100 plus for a family of 4 for a night at the movies? You all just got done with work, with school, with soccer practice, whatever it
Yeah.
is. You're all busy.
And you know, and I know that the answer is it's actually those people, they do that, they fall into that trap once. And then from that point forward, they just wait for it to get to home release
Yes.
one way or another.
And you can't blame them.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to your next one. This should be number 2 if I'm keeping up with my math.
Number 2, going along with the Minecraft theme, seen a lot of posts lately from theater employees of the theater after a Minecraft screening.
Oh, no.
You can't see the floor. It's just covered in popcorn and ices. And according to a lot of employees, there's been parts where people are almost having a Rocky Horror Picture Show audience participation, let's throw the rice at the screen kind of moment with their popcorn and their ices and their pretzel bites. And so they're just having to break out shop vacs and leaf blowers for every Minecraft screening. And I hate it when people are
Awful.
overly messy because I get food every time I'm at the theater just about because like I said, I'm finishing up work. I gotta eat. I gotta have some din din. I might as well get some pizza at the theater.
And it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. That flatbread pizza
I
is
agree.
solid. I recommend it. Uh, but I'll have that pizza and I'll have my little napkins and my little ranch to dip my pizza in, and I'll finish it up, and then I'll put everything back inside the box they gave me, and then
Mhm.
take that box to the trash can.
Same.
There is no trash for the employees to pick up.
Yeah.
Exact same.
Not a single iota of trash.
I'll take any receipts maybe that I've taken out of my pocket and like put in I'll take them.
Absolutely.
The key is like you said, you pile everything into the
Popcorn bucket.
container
Yeah.
that you bought, like whether it's the
Yeah.
popcorn bucket or whether it's the pizza flatbread thing, or like if they give you something where you can transport a lot of things at once, you just pile everything in there and then you throw it away. Now, a lot of people believe that due to being overcharged, it's their right to be able to just throw it on the
Yeah.
ground,
And
like
you
not have
know
to worry
what?
about it.
They have people that they pay to clean it.
Correct.
So, you know what? I'm giving them a job actually.
It's like cart narcs.
I was about to bring it up. It's like the people who leave their shopping carts and say, "Well, if I wasn't doing this, cart pushers are out of a job."
Yeah, when that's ridiculous. You're just making their job more difficult.
Right.
And the
They
cart,
have other tasks.
like, don't get me wrong, like cart the individuals at the grocery store who make sure the carts get back into the store, like the whole reason there's the cart return is because it makes their job easier that they're all centrally located into one spot. It's the same thing for garbage in the movie theaters. Like, they don't not pull the garbage. It's just it's all would be located in one spot if you guys threw everything away. So anyway, that's always been a frustration of mine too, and I will not allow anybody that I'm with to leave their garbage behind. Like
Yeah.
I will make
And
sure that it.
also, if you've ever worked any kind of food service job and you've had to be the guy taking out the trash,
Mhm.
you really don't want to be the person causing another person that sort of strife in their life.
100%.
Because it is disgusting some of the things you've got to bag up and throw away. Or even just when it's old food stuffs. It's greasy, it's smelly, and you got to haul it off.
For sure. Let's go to number 1 on Lionel's list. This has to be the worst offense of all because you've had a lot of passion so far. What is the worst thing a moviegoer can do to ruin your experience?
Do you remember what the last real big weekend for the theaters was?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think it was? What comes to mind?
It was when Moana 2 came out,
Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah,
Thanksgiving
that
weekend.
yeah. Another movie came out that week. Real low key movie, one you gotta really pay attention to because it's a lot more dialogue driven, a lot more character focused than any sort of action sequences. Juror number 2. I go into this movie and there is a couple about 2 seats down from me talking the entire movie. I believe I mentioned this on the show, and it really ruined my day because they weren't whispering, they weren't trying to be courteous in any way, shape, or form. They were talking at our volume currently while the movie is actively playing. And it wasn't a quick conversation either. This was a long, drawn out discussion. I hated that. And on top of that, these people were also on their phones the whole movie. Didn't bother turning the brightness down.
Man, that gets on my nerves.
And the girl, she had her the sound on for when
No.
you're texting, so you hear click 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 click. And then she also was tapping the screen and texting with large fake nails.
Mm.
So there's a plethora of sounds coming from this one couple in an otherwise totally silent theater. And I'm sitting there stewing for probably 30 minutes, just thinking, like, there's no way I'm the only one annoyed by this right now. I'm about to say something. And then somebody about 2 seats down from to my other direction, apparently they heard it. So, I'm not being unreasonable if somebody on the other side of the row can hear you. They stand up and go, "Will y'all shut up?" And then they start to talk back, and then I get involved because I'm sick of it now too. I told them, if the movie is interrupting their conversation or the text thread, then they should probably leave.
Mm.
And how did they respond to that?
They responded by sticking their tongue out
Mm.
Mm,
and
yeah.
then cursing me out. And I was like, okay, yeah, y'all are immature.
We should start wearing, like I've talked about this often when we do our next job interview, Tyler, that we need to wear tuxes together and go interview as a duo. And I feel like we should start wearing tuxes to the theater to try to build some level of decorum, and maybe it'll be a trend that goes off around the country, and people will start realizing that it's a place where you're supposed to go and enjoy the art.
Oh, should we bring the little eyeglass thingies where it's the little thin thing you hold?
100%.
Mm,
Yeah, we should bring some decorum back to the theater going experience.
Monicles.
Yeah, we could look like the
some
Planters Peanut
monocles.
Man. Um, EG, is there anything that really upsets you in a movie theater other than
Um, I would say I don't like sing-alongs. I kinda like we were saying, like, the audience interaction. I'm here to watch the film. I don't need your opinion on it. I don't need you dancing or singing because you probably can't dance or sing,
got it?
truthfully.
Don't make it about you.
Don't make it about you. I also don't like when I get popcorn and it's all the tiny pieces that just hurt your teeth.
I agree with that.
That's really annoying.
I do agree with that. Um, I had a woman next to me. I was going to see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It was the one after the Jessica Biel one. It was Texas
It's like
Chainsaw Massacre
it's like
New
the
the
beginning.
beginning
Yeah,
or something like that. And
like 2006.
sounds right.
Yeah.
And there was a woman in there eating nachos right next to me. And it's really not, I mean, it has not happened since, but the nacho eating was louder than the chainsaw. And I
Oh, no.
and it was just, and I was like, I was like, how many nachos are in there? Like it's like an endless.
It's 7:30
Supply.
in the morning. You gotta be eating those nachos.
I guess back in the day they gave you bags of nachos, like they
Yeah.
literally gave you bags of nachos, and then
Mhm.
she had cheese on the side, but the
So
whole thing was
nasty.
like it's almost like she got the bag of nachos and then asked for extra cheese. And it was just she ate nachos the entire time, and I have not looked at nachos
The same
the
way.
same way ever since. Plus,
I
it was just a crunch fest the entire time. And you could tell they were spraying,
ew.
you know?
I ew.
And I'm like, how many nachos are you going to eat? It was insane.
That
But
sounds
that reminds
good.
me of when, I forget what movie we were going to see. We were in the same screening, but you were in the back and I was a few rows ahead. And
That
when
could
I
have been
walked
any screening, by
Yeah,
the way, so
yeah,
far.
for real.
Mm.
But I was walking in and there's a lady in my seat munching on a family-sized bag of
Oh,
potato
yeah, you
It
chips.
was
said that.
companion.
Companion, yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Companion. And not only that, but she was like in your seat too,
Yeah,
right?
she wasn't even in her correct seat. She was eating in
I
my seat, eating potato chips. That is like if you walked home and saw somebody sitting in your bed eating crackers.
There are pros and cons to the assigned seating. I've always been a champion of assigned seating. I think it's the best way to go about getting your ticket, making sure you don't have to show up to get, the perfect seat on a busy night. I love assigned seating. However, if you have a problem with your neighbor, you feel kind of stuck
Yeah, you can't.
because
Oh
you're
no, I'll move.
I
I'll
know,
move.
I know, in a typical movie you can,
But if not,
but if it's a packed house,
Oh yeah, then you're stuck. I was stuck next to potato chip
you're
lady.
stuck and it can be tough. So, anyway, I am
I'm reflecting on
disappointed in humanity.
my movie habits. I mean, I've definitely been the person that's walked in like, "This is awful," and walked out.
You've walked out
There's
of
nothing wrong with that. You can
Yeah,
walk out of stuff.
but said out loud, "This is awful."
yeah.
I've also said this is awful out loud during the movie. It was
Yeah.
during in a violent nature, and I just couldn't contain it.
There are times I've checked my phone. I know.
No, it
See, I
happens.
don't even mind people checking their phone as long as you've got the brightness like all
Yeah,
the way
I need
off.
that.
Like if you're trying to be
100
courteous
Yeah.
to everyone,
100%.
you can do the little like
Yeah.
flip it up to try and keep it hidden.
I've had
Keep
people
the
take full phone calls, though, in the movie theater.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I'll never forget Kong Skull Island and the guy that smoked multiple cigarettes in the theater while the movie's going. I literally thought, like, they're in the jungles of Vietnam. Like, that's basically like
That was like, what's that, a 5D experience?
so I thought to myself, like, "Wow, they got this are they piping in
Yeah.
the Vietnam era that I'm smelling? Is that what am I smelling the napalm? Like, what's happening here?"
Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Especially in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is going on?" And it took me a while, and then I was like,
Oh,
this guy kept getting up and going over. He didn't want to miss the movie, so he'd go over to the side and start smoking in the corridor.
chain smoker.
And I was like, and then I started like going, like, maybe I'm just imagining it because the movie's a very smoky for it, and maybe I'm just imagining it. But after the movie's over, I get down there and there's cigarette butts all over the ground.
Oh,
Oh
that
yeah,
burn that place to the
they
ground.
smoked a whole pack in there.
Yeah, that's bad.
The guy was probably like, I'd go to the movies if they allowed smoking, but I mean, I do really want to see this one. And then he just decided, you know what? I'm not going to do the dip. I'm going to go right for the
That's
full
great.
on cigarette
I
experience.
just love the idea of this dude going to see Kong Skull Island and thinking it's like I need to be smoking a few heaters during this.
And he did. We went through a whole pack. I mean, it was amazing. I was like, it was choking me because I was like up at the top and it was just rising up. And it's
Oh,
like, oh my God, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to go away. I'm like, if I'm going to be hit with this much smoke, I at least want to be in a casino. That was my thought.
of
But I'll
course.
tell you, there's one smoke-free casino that I really love.
Tell me about it.
MyBookie.ag. It is a smoke-free casino there experience at MyBookie.ag, unless you smoke, and then it is a smoke-filled experience. It's either one. But MyBookie.ag, make sure you use promo code NEXTROUND for that 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus the $10 casino chip there at MyBookie that you can use right there in the casino. I know that blackjack is a fan favorite up in these neck of the woods for sure. Go visit mybookie.ag. Make sure you use that promo code next round. We appreciate all of you guys being here. Look, there's so many hurdles already to get people to go to the theater. And the theater has to get 90 things right. But one thing the theater can't control is human behavior. They can police it a little bit better, but even that turns into a fight and it disrupts the movie for everybody. So, will the future of movie going get less bleak? I don't think so right now. I haven't seen anything. I do want to throw out one possible solution before we leave, and it's been on my mind. Tyler, e.g., legitimately, is there a movie theater experience in the future where a headphone jack being a part of the experience would benefit
Mm-mm,
movie going?
mm-mm.
I don't think so. I think you'd have a lot of hearing issues that would come out of this, and a lot of, delays in the movie starting because someone's headphone isn't working and they're
Mm.
not realizing it until then, or you have someone that's either too young, too old, or just can't figure it out. And then are you disposing of said earphones?
Look, if you're the theater,
And then
you're
also
selling.
like how are you ensuring sound quality at that point? Because
I get it.
if you're buying like a really nice set of noise canceling headphones that have surround sound that are mixed in a certain way to where it's dynamic and immersive for the movie, like are you really going to spend that much on not only a pair of those headphones for every seat but backups too,
No,
because
no, no.
they will break and
Yeah,
you will need
no,
kid sizes
no.
as well.
The theater's not throwing in headphones for free. The theaters are just providing the jack for you to be able to plug in and listen to the movie. The theaters sell headphones separately at the gift shop,
Yeah,
concession stand, whatever.
No, no, do not even give them ideas.
And it keeps them in business. I mean that,
that's
and
true.
it ensures the experience of once again, you're not hearing people talk. Like you can
Mhm.
literally put on your headphones and just focus in on the
I think
movie.
the
I would
average.
actually stop going to the theaters altogether if
Well,
that is
are you
introduced.
saying that that would be an additional option to what's already being played, or it's
Yes, it's
yeah,
an additional
yeah, yeah,
option.
yeah.
Oh,
I think people would do that. I think people would do that.
Yeah, it's just no, they still play the surround sound and
Okay.
everything. So if you don't want that, that's fine.
I thought we were talking about replacing.
No.
Yeah. It's like,
No, no, no,
okay,
no.
wait, no,
No, not
no, I don't
replacing.
like this.
Not
I just wouldn't go to the theater at that
no,
point.
not replacing, giving the extra level of connectivity to the screen
Yeah, that would be a good
by
idea.
being able to immerse you in.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are you like, man, the volume in this movie, they're playing it so low, I can hardly even hear it. How many times have you been in? I've been in that situation a lot.
See, I'm like, it's too loud in
Never.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been in
You
situations.
need to stop sitting in the back row. It's not mixed for the back row.
Tyler, they provide seats in the back row. It should be a good experience back there. I don't think it's because of where I sit. I think it is sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a little low. I would like to
No,
hear a
Where
little
the
bit more.
sometimes the
crawdads
mix is low and
sings.
sometimes the mix is too high. Like for a Wicked, the standard was too high
I agree.
because John Chu went to a test screening and the theater had it too low. So uh company-wide email went out to all like theater chains saying like bumped up the audio, and so that's why it is so stinking loud.
Where the Crawdad Sings. I left that movie, I think. I was close. Either way, that was one that was super low volume-wise, and I remember that was for the reason it was like, "This doesn't even feel like we're at the movies." So, yes, I have experienced that. For me personally, I always feel like it's too loud and I'm losing my hearing.
The chat is weighing in with a lot of experience that they've had here, um, including Jeff, who says once had a blind date take out her phone during the movie and make a phone call, never saw her again.
You dodged a bullet.
You did. You did. That's a psychopath that you would have ended up with. You would have been on a Netflix documentary there, Nick. Or sorry, Jeff. So congratulations there. I was looking at Nick's comments there as well, saying I was surprised that airlines giving them away for free now. The only place I normally do not have trouble hearing anything is the movies.
Agreed.
I understand. I'm in the minority here. I get it. But I like having a little bit of volume control. Who knows? Maybe it's too loud and you want to,
Yeah, I would
have a little bit more of
yeah,
a noise canceling
product
situation.
yeah.
But I've gotten spoiled by subtitles at home as well,
Oh,
Mm.
to
yeah.
where
Now I would like more open caption screenings.
and you know what? It would weed out a lot of people who don't want that experience. I'm not going to read a movie, so that would help too. But either way, people are ruining the experience, and we're trying to come up with solutions to solve that. But I feel like if you take the power away from people being able to make noise with their phones, being able to make noise with their mouths, being able to make noise with their kids, which were, it's half of your list. I would say that having your own set of headphones, working in radio, right? I'm kind of like that. I'm not the typical consumer of, you know, holding up the end of the headphone bargain because I've used headphones my whole entire career. So I'm the only one in here that uses headphones during the show. I like having headphones
Yeah.
on. So it would be a nice thing for me to have. But I agree that, a majority of the audience wouldn't see any sort of benefit in it. But for me, it would make it much more of a
I just
connective
love
experience.
I just love the how Prime has their audio set up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too much to want to even consider introducing headphones. No, just keep making those type of advancements
Yeah.
in audio and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because back again to Doom 2, that sandworm scene.
For sure.
It's a roller coaster if you're in the Prime theater.
It is for sure, 100%. And it would be optional. I'm just saying, don't be shocked if they go this route at some
Yeah.
point.
Now, if they did something similar like to how they have the sensory friendly screenings and like say like, hey, for this screening or screenings at this time, we'll have more pairs of headphones available, we'll play the volume lower, whatever.
But
Like
let me just throw this out.
like that I don't mind at all.
I've been to theaters where they have charging stations in the seats
That's crazy.
for phones. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
What
how are
theater
you
she
gonna
going to?
this is Premier Cinemas. And
Oh,
I'm like, how in the world do you have all these advertisements for don't use your phones, but yet you're offering
A charging station.
fast charging ports in the seats to try to get people in there? It just
It's
seems counterintuitive.
it's charge it up and leave it there, and that way when the movie's over, your phone's fully charged and you can walk out. Of course, that's not what people are doing. They're
Yeah.
fast charging while watching the movie and using their phone.
Is there anything right now that's top of mind, Tyler, that you would like to see theaters implement? And I'm not talking about in terms of policy. I'm talking more in terms of technological advancement or some sort of
Amenities.
feature, or is there
Uh,
anything right off the top of your head that you're like, this makes a lot of sense?
this is specific to AMC. Get rid of the AMC Classic. Update all of them. That's the reason Lee Branch failed. because if you've got Summit and Vestavia and Patton Creek, like even Patton Creek, like they've got the IMAX, so they're already over Lee Branch because Lee Branch didn't have any of that.
And
Summit
the Big
Vest,
D Theater.
yeah, the Big D, yeah. Summit and Vestavia both have nicer seats than regular screenings at Lee Branch and the Big D. So it's not worth going to Lee Branch in that scenario. There's no special premium formats. And on top of that, you would have every other issue that you could have in a movie theater because that place
Yeah.
just kept going downhill.
Yeah.
So get rid of the AMC classics. Um, and I mean, you said no policy, but I would like to see an Alamo Draft House policy of no coming in late, no talking during the movie,
What
but you get the dine-in service.
Brian Pavlik was in the chat saying, still waiting for weirdos dressed up like Art the Clown.
Oh yeah, that was at the Terrifier screening. There was
Where-
certainly some weirdos
Where do you
dressed up.
stand on costumed attendees? Because
I don't mind it.
right, I feel the same way, except for um, I went to a Marvel movie. I want to say it was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but there was someone dressed up as Wanda, and it was a very skimpy version of Wanda,
Oh, I see the
and
issue now.
it was a dude.
Oh,
And
Okay.
they're in booty shorts and pretty much open. They have no shirt on
yeah,
and little horns,
right.
Cool.
and they're completely alone.
And they're sitting in that seat that someone's gonna sit in afterwards.
That's correct. I'm more worried about their health than anybody else's, but yes. Um, but they were wearing heels and booty shorts and no shirt and 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 horns. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I just don't want to bring my daughter around this. I don't want to
No.
like it was very uncomfortable. And my thought is like, I like fans engaging with the properties, right? I think that's cool.
Well,
But
a
there's
lot
a
of
line of decency. It's
yeah.
like, come on now.
Now a lot of theaters would, I believe, kick someone out for that. I have seen.
This person got past the ticket taker that we both know without any sort of stoppage.
Well, I mean, did he have ID on him?
I don't know where he was keeping it.
Ugh.
I don't know which crevice it was in, but anyway, that's how we're going to end today's show. We want to thank all of you for being here with us, and we're trying to solve theaters one step at a time, but it's weekends like this that remind us of just how fragile the ecosystem is. Yes, theaters are making a ton of money right now off the Minecraft movie, but what is it doing for the experience for those that just want to go there to unwind? It's really sort of a catch-22 here. And we're going to continue to monitor that throughout the week. Hey, don't forget Friday. We got a big show coming up Friday. We're going to be doing our giant summer movie preview right here on The Meltdown. That's coming up on Friday of this week. We'll have a DVD mystery box unboxing on Thursday and a lot of great content for you all week long right here on The Meltdown. We will be live with you 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We appreciate your subscription and hitting that little notification bell.